We got to talk about this Beatstars publishing problem. A bunch of people are talking about it. A bunch of people have signed up to Beatstars Publishing, and they're upset because they haven't gotten a single cent from Beatstars yet, in spite of them having a bunch of beats out. So why aren't they getting paid from Beatstars Publishing? Now, I'm a new member of Beatstars Publishing. I haven't gotten paid from them yet. I used to be a member of Songtrust, and I've migrated my catalog over. Actually, I'm in the process of migrating my catalog over to Beatstars Publishing. It's a long, drawn-out process. And, I've been seeing a bunch of producers lately making content, threads, etc., talking about how they're not getting paid off of Beatstars Publishing. You have a bunch of people replying saying, yeah, me neither. I've been on Beatstars Publishing for 3-4 months. I haven't gotten a cent. What's going on? Let's see how many more people hate me after watching this video. Now, while a bunch of producers are saying that they haven't made a cent, you have people like Kavi, who are Beatstars Publishing members, talking. This is an unfortunate pause moment, but you have people like him talking about the thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars that they've made through Beatstars Publishing. In this video, this is a year old, so he's made a lot more money since this video dropped, but he was talking about how he made 6 figures.
In reality, if you have a huge catalog of smaller songs, those tiny songs can end up adding to a huge lump sum of money when you register everything and you give it some time to start collecting.
So he's talking about the combined total when it comes to back-end royalties, which includes the royalties that Beatstars Publishing pays out to its members. If we round this up, it's $150,000. And he's definitely made more since this video dropped. This is a year old, like I said. One of the biggest problems is that people just don't know what it is. They sign up, they want to know where their money is, but they can't even explain how they're supposed to be getting paid. When you make a beat and it becomes a song, that song has 2 distinct copyrights, the master recording and the composition. We are not even going to talk about these royalties because publishing companies do not touch these. They only touch these. They only collect, and you can see right where it says Beatstars Publishing, this is where they collect. Beatstars Publishing and all publishing administrators collect performance royalties on the publisher's share side. They collect mechanical royalties and they collect on syncs, including micro syncs. And you can go on Beatstars and read exactly which royalty streams they collect. Mechanicals, writer's performance, publisher's performance, and syncs. They just break down syncs that they get you versus syncs that you get yourself. And they separate those into 2 different categories because the splits are different. Down here it says, additionally, most performance rights organizations, PROs, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, PRS, etc. There are different ones all over the planet. They split performance royalties between the writer and publisher. That means that your PRO will collect the writer's share of the performance royalties, while Beatstars Sony Music Publishing will collect the publisher's share. And this is why I like this chart so much, because it shows right there that from the performance royalties that are generated by the song getting radio play, streaming, TV, ads, live performances, your PRO, I'm with BMI, they're going to pay me the writer's portion of this. I'm going to get a check from Beatstars Publishing for the publisher's share of these performance royalties. It's a little more complicated than this, but this is how I'm going to explain it for now. Again, mechanical royalties go through Beatstars Publishing. Syncs actually exist on both sides of the copyright, but the underlying composition royalties on the sync side are going to get paid out through Beatstars. So here's the elephant in the room. Let's just get right to it. Why aren't you getting paid from Beatstars Publishing yet? And the honest truth, I'm going to be blunt, is because your music's not generating royalties. That's the most likely reason. I signed up to ASCAP when I was a teenager. I didn't even know what it did. I'm glad I signed up, but I didn't know what it did for many years, because up until maybe the 5-year mark into my journey as a professional music producer, none of my songs were getting play on the radio or sync licenses or TV play from music videos that made it to network television. And this was back before streaming. Radio pays a lot more than Spotify does for performance royalties, and I wasn't getting any of that because I hadn't produced popular songs yet. If you like this video and you want to be a part of my very small community and also get every copy of the drum and sample packs that I've released over the last couple months and will release in the future months for free, join the Patreon, patreon.com/DJPayne1. The link is in the description and the comment section. I hope to see you there. And I didn't start getting good checks from my PRO and from my publishing administrator for a long time, not until I started getting my beats either in big songs that were hit singles or on big TV shows. I've had music on Jimmy Fallon. I got paid like $100 for just 15 seconds of my beat being played, because that's a big show. And the bigger the show and the better the time slot on TV and the more viewers, the more money that you get paid. $100 for 15 seconds. How much do you get paid for a full stream on Spotify on average? 0.0035. Major difference there. And we had songs that we would register that would get radio play here and there, maybe 10 spins here, 10 spins there. It never made me a cent. When I got hit songs, that's when the check started looking good. I'm talking about hit songs though, gold and platinum hit songs, which are not easy to get. Like Kavi was saying, if you can get a bunch of songs that perform well enough, you know, 1 million streams here, 2 million streams there, 5 million streams, 10 million streams, those aren't hit songs, but they will generate royalties for you. So let's talk about that. Now, if we just Google what's the performance royalty rate for Spotify, I know the answer to that. There isn't one. Spotify does not have a fixed performance royalty rate system. Even back before Spotify, when we were trying to calculate how much money a spin was going to give us, we didn't know because it depended on the size of the station, the market, the time of day the song was played. It had to be played for a certain amount of time. And then, you know, if you were only getting 5 or 10 spins here and there, you weren't probably even going to register on the radar of these PROs. So you weren't, people think just because your song gets played once that a check's on its way. It's not. That's the harsh reality. And that has nothing to do with your publishing admin, whether it's Songtrust, Beatstars, Sony, whoever. With streaming, it's even worse because the average payout is lower and you have all these, you know, how streaming royalties are calculated, the criteria are ridiculous. It comes out of a total revenue pool. So it's like prorated. Yeah, there it is. The prorated model sucks. Varying factors. The final payment per stream is influenced by the location of the listener, what kind of subscription they have. You know, then there are performance versus mechanical royalties, blah, blah, blah. Here's the other thing. This is going to fuck you up. This is on billboard.com. This is the streaming royalty flow. So it says out of a total streaming value of 100%, the recorded music accounts for 80% of the streaming payout, while performance royalties account for 10, mechanical royalties count for 10. If we go back to this chart, whoever owns this copyright is making 80% of whatever streaming money is coming. And whoever owns these is sharing 20%. I'm going to say that again. The master recording generates 80% of the revenue. The underlying composition generates 20% in the streaming era. Think about this. In the rare and also understand that the vast majority of music uploaded to Spotify doesn't get 1,000 streams, and you need 1,000 streams to start actually generating money on Spotify. So let's do the math. To generate $1,000 on Spotify, we're going to divide that by the average royalty rate. You need 280, let's just say 286,000 streams. So let's say a song that you produce gets 286,000 streams. Cool, that song made $1,000. Now, of that $1,000, 80% of that is going to the master. So that's $800. There are only $200 left now. Of this $200 that's left, you got to split that among the creators. Now, let's say it's just you and one recording artist. So you're going to have to split that in half. So you have $100 coming to you. And as you can see, some of that's going to be mechanicals, some of that's going to be performance, and Beatstars Publishing is going to pay out some of that on the publisher's share of the performance royalties and then the mechanical royalties. And it depends on how much of the song that you actually own. And comparatively, this is not even going to be you're not going to get $100 from Beatstars Publishing. So even if you have a song that's doing pretty well and you own a full 50% of it, we're not talking big money. We're not talking big money at all. The songs that I've gotten paid a fair amount for are songs that have generated hundreds of millions. You know, like the track that I get the most royalties from is this track. It has 340 million plays just on Spotify alone, and that's just one version. You gotta assume that Apple Music and Deezer and YouTube and a lot of different other platforms are paying out on these streams, and there are tens of millions of plays accumulated on those platforms as well. So yeah, now we're talking about some nice looking performance royalty checks, mechanicals. But like Kavi said, the other option is to have a bunch of music, a huge vast catalog with, 1 million streams here, 1 million streams there, 500,000 streams there. That money is going to accumulate and it's going to add up to something. However, you're not getting paid these royalties automatically. Here's how performance royalties are paid. We already talked about this. Here's why they're not automatic. Registration is required. Royalties are not paid just because you release music. You must actively register your songs and report usage to get paid. Complex tracking. This is important. Tracking every performance across the globe, and performance isn't just a live concert. It's radio play, it's streaming in other countries. It's a monumental task that requires data collection and management, which is why many creators use publishing administrators or PROs to do it for them. So a lingering question at the end of this video is going to be, all right, if this is such a struggle, then why even join Beatstars Publishing? There are many reasons to get an admin deal. I'll explain those. These are one of them because it's hard for it's impossible for an individual artist pretty much to do it all themselves. But you have to register your titles. This is what's taking so long with me migrating my catalog over to Beatstars Publishing, because they sent me this. I'd show it if there weren't a bunch of personal information on it, but this huge spreadsheet with all of these titles that I needed to register in order to take advantage of the royalties that were coming my way. You need paperwork, you need it's a lot. And if I don't register these titles, the PROs don't know to send that money to me. The mechanicals aren't going to get sent. The performance royalties aren't going to get sent. And so I'm not going to be making that money. So I have to go through this long, arduous process, which has always been the case. Whether you have a publishing admin like Beatstars or you're just doing it completely through a PRO, you still have to register all your titles and you still have to make sure that those registrations are correct. The other thing is, and this is something people need to understand, if you are a Beatstars publishing member, you don't need to register titles with your PRO. It's actually going to take longer if you do. Like if I go to BMI and register a title, it's going to take, 5 minutes. With Beatstars Publishing, it's probably going to take a minute and a half. But what I shouldn't do is register them with both. So if I register my songs with Beatstars Publishing, then I'm done. They're going to report that to BMI. So I don't need to go back to BMI and register again. What that could do is create conflict, and then all the money gets frozen until that gets worked out. So don't do that. Now here's another issue, and this is a really big one too, that people need to understand when they're sitting around asking, why haven't I made a bunch of money yet? I need to go to the strip club. Beatstars is fucking up. How often will I be paid royalties by Beatstars Publishing? Sony has 2 semi-annual collection periods, each followed by distributions in the Beatstars wallet. To find out more, here's the full help article, blah, blah, blah. In other words, there are payout periods. That's just how publishing works. Even the PROs directly have these crazy delays when it comes to payment. ASCAP takes 6 to 9 months after the performance quarter with domestic payments. BMI, generally it says takes 6 months to a year. CSAC, a little faster. If you have a song right now that just hit 500,000 streams, it went viral, what might confuse you is this. On this side, on the master recording, on the sound recording side, this is being paid out. These royalties are being paid out by a distributor. They're starting to collect right away. If you have like DistroKid or TuneCore or something, they're going to start paying those out right away. They're going to start putting those into your account pretty quickly. Over here, you're going to have to wait, what'd they say, 6 to 12 months, depending on your situation, your PRO's collection schedule, and then you have to wait for payout periods to get that money sent to you. So if, again, you have a song that's big now, you're going to have to wait for that money to get processed and collected and all this other stuff before it actually reaches you. So then the question is, why sign up? As we learned, it's difficult to collect these royalties yourself. And if you're simply just with a PRO is not going to collect your mechanical royalties. That's going to be the MLC, so you would have to go through the MLC. A PRO is not going to collect your microsync royalties, so you would have to find a different agency to do that. So if you sign up to a publishing admin, they're going to collect all 3 of those royalty streams on your behalf, and that makes your life 3 times easier. The other thing that they do is they collect internationally. Neighboring rights are something that a lot of PROs cannot collect, but a publishing admin can. So if you sign up to a publishing admin, there are countries in which there's going to be money waiting for you. You can't physically go to that country to get that money, but your publishing admin can. There are a bunch of other reasons to sign up to a publishing admin. This is obviously going to be biased towards Beatstars because this is Mike Trampy from Beatstars, but let's hear what he has to say.
Saying it's easy to do all this stuff on your own is not true. Like, if that was the case, why do publishers exist? And I'll tell you why. It's because publishers are set up with the right tools, as I just alluded to, with the right relationships and with the right infrastructure to take your song and deliver it to 200 and some different places at once with credibility. You got what I'm saying? Like, these publishers have relationships with these societies compared to you going around the world everywhere and doing it yourself, or working with third-party companies with reciprocal agreements where data might not be that accurate. And guess what if there's a problem with your publishing? Who are you turning to if you're by yourself? So let me make it clear, once and for all. If you are using just your PRO and the MLC...
He's going to go on and say, if you're using just your PRO and the MLC, you're not collecting 100% of all the royalties that are due to you. The other thing too, this is shout out to producer royalty. The other thing is resolving conflicts. You want to have professionals who know what they're doing. Let's be honest. If you're watching this, do you know how to resolve a PRO registration, a PRO title registration conflict? You're going to hire a lawyer? What are you going to do? So that's another benefit to having a publishing administrator that you can contact and that will actually fight on your behalf to resolve these situations and get your money to you. There are a lot of people complaining in the producer community. Very few of them are educating or offering solutions. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully that explains some things. The music business is entirely based on copyrights, and if you don't understand what those two copyrights do, what royalties they generate, and how you can collect those royalties using the various tools out there, whether it's a PRO, whether it's the MLC, whether it's your distributor, whether it's a publishing administrator like Songtrust, Beatstars, whoever, you're going to end up frustrated, confused, disgruntled. And after a certain point, this money that's just being held for you somewhere is going to go to someone else. It's going to go to Taylor Swift. It's going to go to Drake. So learn the landscape of the music business, figure out what you need to do, and create a system for yourself so that you are actively registering your titles, registering your splits, collecting your royalties, and keeping your eyes and ears out for new information, because we are in an era where things can potentially change. New royalty streams can open up. For example, the MLC wasn't here 10 years ago. It was Harry Fox before that. So things change all the time. Hopefully that helps. Much success to you. Appreciate you tuning in. Peace.